So being centered is becoming more challenging, because it's like the center point of a storm is a perfect center, but all around it is getting more, it feels like it's worse and worse. How do we center ourselves? The breath is a simple way to connect with the breath. One of the most profound things that I started doing and that really will help people, if you will write a covenant with your God, sit down and take a piece of paper and call this my covenant with God, or my covenant with the universe. And if on that piece of paper, if you write everything that you would like to express, if an angel walked in the room and you knew beyond any doubt that it was God's representative giving you some instructions, how many of you would follow those instructions? If you knew that it came from the God of your being, sure you would, no question about that. And there's certain things that if you knew you could absolutely say to the God of your being and that would be heard and received, there's many things you'd say. I'm asking you, put it in a letter, put it in a covenant, and then seal that, fold it up, but don't just put it somewhere. Read it, revise it, live it. And every day when you're out and about and you wonder, what am I to do? Or I don't know how to make this decision. I don't know what to do. Remember, I am covered by my covenant. I am living my highest truth. I am doing the best I know how to do. And if I knew how to do better, I would do better, right? Trust yourself. Allow yourself to be covered in that covenant and go about and travel about planet Earth without your seatbelt on and be happy and free. It will make a huge difference. A covenant will help you be centered. Be centered, number one. I am centered together. I am centered. The second step is to be clear. Have you ever been in a group of 3 or 4 people and you're trying to decide where to go eat and nobody can make up their mind? Or someone asks you, what do you think about so-and-so? Or how do you feel about this? And you're like, feel? How do I feel? I can tell you how everybody else in the room feels, but I have no clue how I feel. Some of us are more attuned to what's outside of us than what's inside of us. And it's really, really important and essential with having clear boundaries that we can be clear. There's a mantra. Mantra in the Buddhist tradition are hand postures. Well, they're very powerful because posture means that the power is not necessarily in the hand, but it's in your internalizing that posture or that position. And so if you learn to, your solar plexus, which is how you read information in your power center, if you learn to connect this with your voice, so learn to be, I am clear. I am attuned to what's inside of me. I am clear together. I am clear. We center, we stay centered with our covenant. We become willing to be more and more clear about what's my truth. We listen to our words. What are we saying? We speak our truth. We live our truth. We bring it into personal alignment. Number 3 is expect the best. That is just good old-fashioned advice, but expect the best. How often do we forget and we start expecting the worst? I grew up in a family that once a year we went on a vacation, and it was either to the mountains of North Carolina or the beach of North Carolina. We rarely went out of the state, but thank God it's a really beautiful state. But every time if we went somewhere sort of new, my parents would check into the hotel, and the next thing we would do is go find the nearest hospital, just in case. I'm not kidding. So you can kind of understand how maybe I grew up waiting for the shoe to drop. So expect the best was really not so easy for me when I know where hospitals are, because something might happen or whatever, you know. You travel with enough stuff in the boot of your car that you could survive anything. Expect the best. One day when I was in Maui, we were within walking distance from this great little health food store, and one of the things they sold was fresh beet juice from the beets that grew in the Hawaiian soil, and they would grind them, juice them, and it was nothing but 100% beet juice, which is really, really red, so you don't want to get on your clothes. Well, if you've ever had a glass of milk, have you ever had milk and had a milk mustache? Well, I had beet juice one day sitting out there, and then I was walking back to my house, and I had enjoyed my lunch. It was a beautiful day, and I was walking back to my house. This was in the town of Paia. It was crowded, and everybody that passed just smiled, and I thought, wow, I just must have really embodied the radiance of God. Like people are literally making eye contact and they're smiling. I was just walking. I was so happy, and I thought, this spiritual stuff is finally working. People are seeing it. I got home and I went in the bathroom and saw that red mustache on my face. And I laughed out loud. And I thought, we're all making up stuff all the time anyway. People look at us and they give you the stink eye and you think, what did I do to you? Or they, whatever, you make stuff up. Why in the world not just make up the best possible scenario? Not to the point of delusion, but expect the best. Pretend you've got this smile on that just can't be wiped off. Beet juice is not easy to get off the skin. Be centered. Be clear. Expect the best. And wait and receive. Wait and receive. The message that Jesus had to his disciples, he would always say, tarry with me, wait, wait, wait. But most of us are more inclined to, we pray, we ask, and then we just go fix it ourselves. Or we fixate. Anybody else fixate? Yeah. Deepak tells a story in his book of the gentleman who wrote the score for The Wizard of Oz, Harold Arlen. He said that too often people don't watch and wait. They miss what's really happening inside them. They fixate on wishes and fantasies, and while their attention is distracted, the real thing passes them by. Maybe the answer passes by. Harold Arlen, a famous Hollywood composer, was assigned to write the music for The Wizard of Oz. He had written it, but he just knew, he felt like one thing is missing, something is missing, it's missing. But he was a creative genius. So rather than fixate or get frustrated, he did the best thing you can do, and that is to walk away. It says that he walked away, and as he went out to his wife to lunch, suddenly he was walking down Sunset Boulevard, and on a piece of paper he started writing, "Somewhere over the rainbow," which made the movie. But do you see how if he had have given up, if he had have fixated and not stepped away and left room, you see, to wait and expect is to step away, to give some space for the change to take place, but don't let go. Can I have that music, Cerny? My little niece, she's not so little anymore, she's 14, but when she was much younger, she's been one of the greatest teachers in my life. And she has always collected really small little things. She draws, and she would draw little things and collect little small things. Well, one day, she went around the house because she had lost something about this big. Now, my niece and nephew probably had 500 toys in the house. So when she came up to my sister and said, "Have you seen this little thing?" She described it, and it's got a butterfly on it. My sister said, "Honey, I don't know. If I see it, I'll let you know." Then she goes to her big brother and says, "Gavin, have you seen this?" And he wouldn't pay her any mind. So she went off to her room, and she made about 20 of these. She posted them all over the house. It says, "Lost. I give $2. I even got one in the mail. My mother has one on her refrigerator. Weeks went by, and one day my sister was home. The kids were at school. My sister was vacuuming, and she heard a strange noise. And she recovered it, and she recognized it because of this. So she took one of these little wanted posters, and she put the little thing on it, and she put it in Mallory's room. When she got home and went in her room, she saw it, and she grabbed it, and she ran to her